So there's a couple of things that you want to do or people are doing. And in general, there's a lot of attention being paid now. Unfortunately, again, because the news is not always great. And we always get reminders, although not IoT. Things like SolarWinds reminds us that if we're going to be digital, we are all potentially susceptible to various types of attacks. The challenge in IoT is significant in the sense that we have a really wide range of devices, whether you look at industrial, whether you look at a commercial building or a home, because the devices, number one, may come from many vendors. We've all seen, the value of a single vendor solution and the ability to control your world. If you come from Apple, and then the value from a marketing perspective, if you allow many players to play, like in the Android world, but at the same time ensuring that all those players are good people. So in the IoT, when you have a mix of technologies, it becomes a challenge. And people are understanding that more and more. So there really isn't one security thing that you should do. There's probably many. Certainly the first thing is to know if you have an issue, and there's a lot of really good anomaly detection, network monitoring technologies that are being developed so that people who want to know or should know if they have an issue can know. And that doesn't prevent an attack, doesn't prevent somebody from stealing data, but arguably a very critical issue to know is it happening, so that you need to increase or improve whatever it is you're doing. Of course, all the other technologies have been around for years and decades, whether it's malware protection, firewalls, on and on. The list goes. You need to employ when you're talking about networks, but the IoT and a lot of devices, and number one, operate outside of these, very controlled networks. The 3 floors of your office building. A lot of these devices are out in the open. And the other thing is that a lot of these devices are engineered or designed very eloquently to use absolutely the smallest processor that will deliver all the features. So one view of some of the audience might be, I have all the tools I need. I'm using them today, and they might be on a tablet or a gaming PC or a smartphone. But when you go down to a very, very small 32-bit or 16 or even 8-bit processor that's been optimized to provide a single function in a building or embedded platform network, you don't have the luxury of the computational capability to put that authentication technology on it, to put that digital certificate and all of the signing and verification capabilities on it that you take for granted, the TLS or SSL solutions you use when you're on a network. So there's a lot of attention being paid to that. There's a lot of innovative technologies from how do you take public key or asymmetric technologies, as we do, both legacy, things like ECC or ECDSA, which some of your viewers will know are, 30, 35-year-old technologies that still lead the way for legacy to upcoming quantum-resistant methods. How do you shrink them and make them work, as well as other technologies like PUFs, physically unclonable functions, which are fingerprint technologies that enable you to provide unique identification on a per-device basis, or a seed of identification, a root of trust. So there's really a lot of areas that are being brought together, again, because you have a really, really broad mix of devices, and a lot of them need to be out there by themselves, which again is why we focus on device to device as an area. But you would not, look to us as a single solution. It would be us in combination, arguably with some of these other technologies, to make yourself secure.